Poker machine problem gambling remains a terribly serious problem in this country. It is still the case that many tens of thousands of Australians are losing between themselves billions of dollars every year. And the research shows that for every one of those problem gamblers, between 5 and 10 other people are affected, like their mums and dads, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, employees, workmates, any number of people. And for a lot of those problem gamblers, things are dire. They lose their house, they lose their job, they lose their family, and in some terrible cases, they even lose their lives. But despite the pressing need for poker machine reform in this country, neither the Labor Party nor the Liberal Party would seem to be much interested. In fact, in the previous federal parliament, the Prime Minister did make a deal with me for deep poker machine reform, a deal that she subsequently withdrew from. The reforms that were progressed were okay, but weak. And then the new government overturned them with the support of the Labor Party. So when it comes to the Labor and Liberal parties, frankly, neither are much good when it comes to meaningful poker machine reform. One of the problems here is that poker machine regulation has previously been left to the state and territory governments. But the state and territory governments have shown they simply can't be trusted because there's a fundamental conflict of interest here. On the one hand, they have an obligation to care for the community, but on the other hand, they're enjoying rivers of gold, the taxation revenue they collect from the poker machines. In fact, here in Tasmania, a small state of only 500,000 people, the state government collects about $50 million a year in taxation, and responsibility for poker machine regulation sits within the Treasury portfolio. There is clearly a need for a national response driven by the federal government. Although the situation is grim, there is no doubt that eventually we will see deep poker machine reform in Australia. No doubt at some point in the future they will look back and they will wonder how on earth we allowed so many people to be hurt so badly for so long. But we've got to keep the pressure up. I'll do my bit in the House of Representatives, and I've got a private member's bill almost ready to go. That would implement the 2010 recommendation of the Productivity Commission for $1 maximum bets and mandatory pre-commitment. But the community has got to do its bit. So I call on you, please meet with your parliamentarian and tell them of your concerns. Please write to the local paper a letter to the editor laying out your concerns and calling for something to be done. Ring up Talkback Radio, join activist groups, do whatever you reasonably can to keep the pressure up, because the more pressure we can apply to the government, the sooner we will get that reform.